What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. So tonight I'm working on a sketch cover. It's going to be a multi-character deal, and I'm just going to kind of chip away at it throughout the stream, and I don't really have an end goal for this stream in particular. Just going to do my thing, and we'll see where we wind up. Hey, Kryn. D. Miraz, hello. Zombie Prowl. Clock Fox. So as you may or may not be able to tell, I've got kind of the basics sketched out here. Just basically the location of the characters, and I really need to pretty much fill in everything from this point. So what it is a multi-character thing here. It's similar to a drawing I did this past summer, which had Optimus Prime, Jazz, and Ironhide. This will be a similar pose, almost exact same pose, featuring Optimus, Jazz, and Wheeljack. And on the back we will have Hound, Prowl, and Ratchet, all in their very G1 G1 character models, I guess you would say. So here we go. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. I am exhausted as usual, but otherwise good. I'm working on one of my Spotlight Thundercracker sketch covers, the IDW limited version. I don't know how many of them they made, but I think I did maybe like, I can't remember. But I think it was something like 10 copies maybe for IDW Limited. And they gave me, I think, a spare 8 to do whatever I wanted with. My numbers could be off there. So I think I want to start in on Wheeljack. He's kind of in the front here. And this is all to squeeze all these characters onto a sketch cover. They're all pretty small in reality here. So it's a bit smaller than I prefer to work, but that's okay. Thing about sketch covers is, you know, you get the idea like it should look like a comic book cover. However, when you're drawing a comic book cover, it's done on a much larger scale. So, you know, trying to do something of a similar what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, something as kind of big and grand as what you would do on a comic book cover. It's a little bit of a challenge to try to achieve that on a sketch cover. Something of the same sort of magnitude, but not impossible. It's just a little bit more of a challenge. Hey, Destron Decepticon. How's the sketch card project going? It hasn't started yet. But thank you for asking. Because I did kind of ask you all to keep after me with that. So I actually planned on starting doing some sketch cards today, but didn't wind up happening for several reasons. But I do plan to do some sketch cards in the near future. All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to pull up the animation model. I'm going very, very heavy G1 on these, so I want to get it as accurate as I can. I was going to have Wheeljack holding that large sort of weapon that blew up on him in that one episode. I don't remember which episode that is, but I'm sure some of you know. When it comes to drawing Wheeljack in sort of a battle pose, he doesn't really have much for weapons other than his little shoulder-mounted missile there. So that'll kind of have to sneak over onto the back half of the cover here. Hopefully the sketch portion here isn't too, I don't know, hopefully it's as fun to watch as the inks. There's a lot of trial and error with this. Although I've watched a lot of streamers, well, I've watched a handful of streamers streaming digital art, and there is a lot of kind of draw a line, erase a line, draw a line, erase a line, draw a line, erase a line, until you get what you want. So I guess it's not that much different. This just isn't digital. Blackout and Shout. Both are accurate. There is, different companies. I've only worked for a couple of different companies, but they give you the dimensions that they want their pages to be at, and from my experience, there are slight differences. It's usually a 300 DPI resolution, and then whatever the actual dimensions are that they're looking for. But I usually do them on 11 by 17 paper. And I don't know what the actual pixels work out to be there, but yeah, it's a much larger scale. Yeah, that is unfortunate. There won't be a comic for the X-Men Transformers crossover. It seems kind of funny to me that you wouldn't have a comic for the one crossover that actually involves a comic. Like Back to the Future was a movie, Ghostbusters was a movie, but they get a comic crossover. X-Men is a comic, but they don't get a comic crossover. A little strange to me, but what do I know about anything? I just draw the pictures. Dark Wizard, that thought did cross my mind. I never actually read that one, but I know it was not the most well-received thing ever, I guess, would be a way to put it. Huh. Thank you. Alright, let me look at this weird weapon that Wheeljack has here. Of course, it's nice and detailed. That's okay. Looks like you've got a little split right here. And then it gets... There's like a sort of typical looking large gun barrel. Is that supposed to be a side handle? That is actually a pretty hilarious scene, isn't it? I'm going to adjust this now so it's looks like there's actually some sort of handle coming off at kind of perpendicular to the other handle for this weapon. You know, the crossover stuff, they don't seem to take it too seriously. Like Star Trek also, that was a cartoon continuity that they used, right? The old Star Trek cartoon, as opposed to the TV show. I do understand the hesitation to do another crossover comic, but it is too bad. I kind of grew up reading X-Men in the 90s, so obviously Transformers as well, so that would have been a cool crossover from my perspective. Reference for the gun is from an episode of the cartoon. Wheeljack came out with this massive gun, and it kind of backfired and blew up on him. But it's a cool looking gun. Go back to the animation model here. Wheeljack's animation model is kind of weird too. It's got like all these lines on his kind of torso area. Hi, Rosie. Sure. Yeah, Wheeljack is pretty great. He's one of the handful of original figures that I still have from my childhood. Alright, I think I'm going to jump up to Prime here. I'm going to think about this weapon that Wheeljack is holding here. I don't want to commit to anything quite yet. realize most of the time I'm doing this, you guys are just seeing the inks as opposed to the pencils. So it's a little bit different tonight. But as you can see, I'm just kind of blocking in the basic shapes. Just keeping it pretty loose and sketchy. I'm gonna have to really get in here with the 005 micron and get some of these small details when I switch over to inking. It's a bit of a kind of feeling out process at this stage. Just trying to find what works best. Like, I know the layout I want. It's just the sort of exact details of each figure. Gotta kind of figure out how that's gonna work out. Some of the logos and text on this cover are going to wind up getting inked over as well. I'll use some white ink to go over them in spots. these are some of the times where once you've gotten used to working in Photoshop, or I'm sure similar programs, it can sometimes be a challenge to go back to just drawing on paper and not being able to just move the image around. You gotta actually erase and redraw everything if you want to change something. Sometimes if I want to change something slightly, I don't erase things all the way, so I have a good view of what the angle I want to change was, so I can kind of just draw over it with the adjusted thing that I want to draw. I want this to be a bit of a dramatic up angle here on Prime. I wasn't really happy with how the head looked previously. If only I had the confidence of Rob Liefeld, I could have just stuck with it. But, I want to make sure it is as good as I can make it. Check that one off your bingo card, by the way. It's kind of a gimmick now. I feel like I have to do it every time. Actually, I don't. It just kind of came naturally. Anyway, I'm feeling a little better about this angle right here, so we're going to stick with that. Kind of want Prime to be a little bulkier. Now this is supposed to be a very G1 callback here. Not necessarily like an enhanced G1. I want it to be pretty faithful to the original models and stuff. So Prime was kind of a little on the long and lean side initially, so probably be a little less bulky than I typically draw him. Oh, you got a spot with Alex's commissions. Nice. What bingo card? It's just sort of a silly reference. Multiple times I've referenced Rob Liefeld on the stream, kind of poking fun a little bit, in hopefully a playful kind of way, not trying to really be a jerk, just trying to have a little fun. There, see, now we got Prime's arm sort of spanning the whole cover there. That feels a little bit better to me. I think most of the stream is just going to be kind of penciling the characters in a bit. I don't think we'll actually hit any inks tonight. I'm going to try to go the full 2 hours. Looks like we're about a half hour in. So, all pencils tonight, kids. More like rough sketch than full pencils here. But I will post, updates on this. I think. Maybe I will. And I think I'm going to save, I'll be working on this a little bit throughout the week, kind of chipping away between other things. But I do plan to save some of the inking for next Monday's stream. So whether I post updates or not, if you're interested, you'll be able to see, the progress on this in a week. And if you log on next Monday and it looks just like how it did when we left it, you'll know I did not have a productive week. I don't have too much else going on, so I don't imagine I'll get caught up with other things. But you never know. It's a funny business. Sometimes I'll get an email about a cover or whatever, and it'll be something they need turned around pretty quickly. So I'll have to sort of drop whatever I'm doing, if I can afford to drop what I'm doing and jump right in on something else. Patience is a big thing for doing this type of artwork. Got to be able to have the patience to stick with it, make adjustments. Keep looking at it, analyze it, change it as needed. 3D, hello. I did not read that. Is that his D&D work? Big fan of Jack's work, so I would love to check out pretty much anything he does. Is that his own sort of creator-owned thing? I just realized I've been drawing that leg off camera. That's okay. You didn't miss much, trust me. Alright, I'm going to start sketching in jazz here. Blackout and shout. It depends how well it's going for me. That's the thing about streaming art too. Like, even if it's not going well, everybody's seeing your progress. Luckily, I'm not too shy about it, but I think sharing process stuff is fun. If you follow my Twitter page, I do, share some process stuff now and again. Every once in a while, there's a when you're working on something and it's kind of like half sketched out, and you just kind of, you're at that sweet spot where it's looking pretty cool right then and there, so you kind of feel the urge to share it as a WIP. It doesn't happen every time, but 60% of the time it happens every time. Zombie Prowl, I did not know that. I know there's been a whole thing with music licenses or whatever. I haven't fully paid attention to what's happening there, but I know there's some music and licensing issues with Twitch recently. Yes, that is shaping up to be jazz. Good to know. Not that I would ever get tired of listening to this old G1 music. No sarcasm there. Twitch soundtrack, eh? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna see if I can get in a bit closer on some of this here without sort of obscuring my own view of what I'm doing. One of the tough parts about working this small for me is it's just so much harder. Like with Transformers, there's all these little details that you need to get in there for them to really look like who they're supposed to look like. So trying to do that while at the same time keeping everything in scale with everything else that's going on the page is definitely a bit of a challenge. I'm getting a little tighter here with Jazz's face. So I figured it might be fun to switch it up from just the full sketchiness for a bit. Plus, you all know me, it's always fun to draw Jazz, so. I have drawn quite a few Jazzes in my time, several versions. Shattered Glass even, you know, the BotCon version. I don't know if you have your own version. I want to say it was 2008 BotCon set, the Shattered Glass. I had, I think that was the original Shattered Glass, right? There was a Jazz. Made out of the, is it Crosswise? Crosswise, a Cybertron figure. I think Cybertron figure, mold. Figure, as our friend Chris McFeely would say. Still have that image somewhere around here. Maybe I'll have to try to dig that up. Yes, that's right. It was kind of a weird figure. I have the Crosswise figure. I have two versions of it. There's a smokescreen repaint that I have as well. There's things I like about it and things I don't. While I did say I'm keeping this close to animation model accurate, I always like to get the racing number and the Autobot logo on Jazz when I can. Is the picture quality okay on this? It's not blurring out on you or anything, right? It's probably closer than I've ever been on one of these. All right, very good. Okay, so back to the X-Men crossover thing. Are we pretty certain it's just going to be a Blackbird that turns into a robot? That seems to be what the little teaser there was insinuating. I almost feel like it could be a remold or repaint of the live-action movie Jetfire. I mean, Ectotron was a pretty heavily retooled figure, but it was, you know, a retool as opposed to an original figure. And Gigawatt, or whatever, Gigawatt, however you say that, was pretty much a retool of the Sideswipe mold. So I kind of figure the Blackbird has to be a retool of something. Yeah, that would make sense. Snapdragon feels like a pretty good fit for that. You're right. Yeah, I think the Top Gun mold was new. I forgot about that one. I completely forgot about that. And there was no comic crossover for that one, so I guess there is precedent for just skipping that altogether. make this gun barrel a little bit longer here. The whole thing should actually be a little bit longer. You know, I think I'll do next time I need to edit something, I'll just skip over it and edit it later off camera and jump onto something else while I'm streaming, so you guys aren't watching me draw something over and over again. That feels a little better. Takes the weapon right to the edge of the paper there. Alright, let me get some of his leg penciled in here, and then I'll jump over to maybe Prowl over on the other side there. Got Prowl, Hound, and somebody else, Ratchet. How did I know you would say that? Got some convenient rocky landscape happening down here, so we'll have some obscured areas, which is okay. Alright, I think I'm going to leave Jazz for now. Let me back things back up a little bit here. This whole Thundercracker logo will be covered with white paint. Alright, let me pull up Prowl's animation model here. You know, I was going to make the Liefeld reference, and I held back, but you know what? You did it for me. I figured we already scratched that off the bingo card, so I didn't have to go for it, but you know what? It was appropriate, so I'll take it. I think I want to adjust my little sketch here. Sure. Did you get them all wrong?
Yeah.
No. Why don't you try your best? I should probably speak to what I'm doing here a little bit for those of you interested in process stuff. Usually you all don't get to see this part, as I mentioned earlier, at least when I do it. So just kind of blocking out the general shapes very loosely until I get something that I'm happy with. Before I really add any detail, I want to have my layout and pose fully figured out, so I don't have to go back and change anything or many things once it's actually drawn in. Well, I guess we got through G1. Stop. And we'll get into some season 2 stuff here. Have I ever sent stuff to CGC for grading? Yeah, there have been several people who have wanted to get stuff graded from me. So I have. I don't do it for myself. I'm personally not interested in it. Not saying anything negative about those who are, but that's just not really like my thing. But yeah, I have sent stuff in for other people. Sketch covers, signed covers. It's much more convenient when you're at like a convention when the CGC person is right there and they can sort of verify it on the spot and you don't have to deal with mailing it out or anything. But a few times I have mailed things out for people. Let's see, we got an Autobot logo or symbol right here. We got the front of the sort of curved up piece of the black and white police car design. There we go, he's got the rounded headlights. Oh yeah, definitely folks have done that. Let's see, we've got these little bumper, whatever you call them, like little raised pieces here. The Season 2 soundtrack always makes me think of Powerglide and Omega Supreme. I don't know why those two characters kind of stand out for me. So I guess we got the wheels behind Prowl's arms here. Gotta love the door wings. It's a very trademark G1 feature. Here I'll do an open hand for a change. Well, these G1 Autobot cars have very, for me at least, very recognizable sort of signature weapons. Still keeping it pretty loose here. I gotta move his waist over here. I made his chest a little too, kind of at the wrong angle to jive with the waist as it was. Nice job. I've got some homework happening across the room from me here. One thing I get a little caught up on with when I try to be really faithful to the Generation 1 designs is the upper part of the leg is usually a pretty straight shot, but I tend to add this little bend between here and there, so sometimes the designs get they look a little different the way I do them, but I haven't heard anybody complain about them, so I guess they work. I will not be going over this IDW Limited logo. That's going to stay intact, so I just kind of got to work around that. Thanks, Corinne. Yeah, in my head it just kind of makes sense. I think I'm going to kind of draw a little box around this bit here, which I'm keeping in the image because it's going to basically document that it's part of my 8 sketch cover stock. I'm going to jump over to Hound. Somebody who doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. Ha! Donut shop manager, yeah. Yeah, the expression is dull surprise. No, it's you know, just whatever. There's going to be incoming enemy fire, so you know they're all kind of just reacting to what's happening here. All right, let me pull up Hound's character model. Alright, Hound's got a strange body type here because of how low set his shoulders are. Like he's got the Jeep, the top of the Jeep, you know, very kind of geometric, rectangular, whatever. And then he's got these little wheel well things that come off, and then his arm comes out from under there. His shoulder is actually like set really low, which to me looks really awkward, but we're gonna make it look okay because that's what I like to do. He's also got cool shoulder missile. Most of the G1 Autobot cars tended to have one or more shoulder mounted missiles, which is usually a pretty cool look. Can also get in the way sometimes. Hound also has a very just cube shaped head. Typically when I draw their heads, I'll draw in a, you know, typical round head shape, but not for Hound. I'm going to raise his wheel wells up just a little bit. Try to be pretty faithful to the animation model, but, you know, make it make more sense visually to my eye, at least. Let's see. So where do I want him to be facing? Maybe he'll be looking up a little bit here. There, that feels a little better. Give him a bit of an up angle to his head, to his head, I guess. And again, as you're working your way through this cover, this is sort of going into the background a little bit. So each of these characters is going to be slightly smaller than the characters up front here. I think I'm going to go back and adjust the angle of Prime's head a little bit too. Maybe not. We'll see. But I imagine, so this is all going to be like set outside of the Ark. I don't know if they ever called it the Ark in the cartoon. I don't think they did, but you know, the ship crashed in the volcano is going to be back here. And there's going to be kind of enemy fire coming in from above. You know, the Decepticons typically attack from above, so that's going to kind of be what's happening here. You know, those shoulder cannons get in the way sometimes. You think of a cool layout for a panel or something, and then you're like, oh, they have a gigantic thing on their shoulders, so I can't really, that doesn't really work anymore. I'm still pretty amazed that the animators for this old cartoon were able to draw these, you know, I know they're simplified character models, but still they're not completely simple. Draw all of these characters frame by frame. Kind of insane to me. Alright, so we got a front bumper here. Got the 5, whatever you call this, kind of grill action here, 5 bits, typical of a Jeep. The star on this shoulder. Okay, you got Wheeljack's missile coming over from the other side there. Destron Decepticon, I'd agree. I agree that the head shape is very similar from Hound to Starscream. The way that middle section is kind of indented a little bit. Definitely going to be adjusting this this hand and arm over here. I'm getting a little crunched here between hound and wheeljack. It's funny looking up reference for some of these guys. I kind of forgot that most of these guys had Masterpiece figures. Hound, I totally forgot that he had an actual Masterpiece figure. Anyone pick that one up? Any feedback? Thoughts? I'm going to raise his knee up here quite a bit, I think. A lot of issues with the Masterpiece Hound. Only masterpieces I have, I think I've discussed this before, was Prowl and Sideswipe. I got the Michael Bell special. And the original US, mass market release of Optimus with the short smokestacks and all that. I need to spread out his stance a little bit here. Alright, sorry about that. Hound's going to need a bit of help here. I'm going to adjust him some, but that's okay. I think I'm good for now. He's basically where I need him to be. He looks a little zombie-ish right now, but we'll make some adjustments and make him work. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool group shot so far. Just got to add Ratchet in there. That new Starscream looks great. What about Masterpiece Wheeljack? Any feedback on that figure? Yeah, it looked like a great looking figure, at least. Okay, Ratchet back here is set a little bit further in the background, so he's going to be significantly smaller than the others here. A lot of these tracks we're hearing were used in the Golden Lagoon episode. I appreciate cartoon model Ratchet's little red crosses on the shoulders. I always thought that was a good look for him. Seriously? A red cross? That's kind of silly. Wild. I had no idea. This is Cold Slither, isn't it? Wouldn't you love to be at a concert or something, whoever you're listening to, like, busts into Cold Slither out of nowhere? It's all good. Bless you. So am I violating the Geneva Convention if I draw it in on this sketch cover? Am I going to be brought up on charges? You gotta bless you from the stream, Rosie. Huh. The G1 shuttle only has 3 like thrusters at the back. I always thought it was 4. I've drawn it enough times, I should probably know that, but it's one of those things that I just conveniently forget. So this is going to be a nighttime setting. So I'm going to have the arc drawn in here, the thrusters, the mountain, the whole bit. But the sky up here, which you can't see, I just realized up here it's going to be black, starry sky. My horizon line is right about in the middle somewhere. Hey, good night, Kryn. Thanks for hanging out. just realized also the back of this gun that Wheeljack is holding actually comes out pretty far there, so it's going to obscure a bit of Hound, which is actually going to work out well because that animation model is so awkward. I have nightmares about drawing transforming robots. Actually, I typically don't remember my dreams. Every once in a while I'll wake up with a memory of whatever I was dreaming about, and then it'll be gone shortly after if I don't make a conscious effort to remember it. Alright, what are we at here? About an hour and 50 minutes. So I got all 6 characters roughly sketched in here. And we really tightened up around Jazz's head. Everybody else is very loose. So maybe I'll start tightening up Wheeljack here. And just kind of cut it off right about the 2-hour mark. Let me pull up the character model again. It's so wonky looking, the original drawings. Now let's get back in close for this, I guess. Features on some of the original design drawings are so like rounded, but then when you look at some of the actual animation, they really squared it off a lot. I like the squared off version. You know, I think of my robots as being very angular. I do better typically with more defined angles and edges and things like that. Can't really see what it looks like on top of the missile launcher from the animation model. I don't know if anybody noticed, but even with the straight lines that I'm doing here in the pencils and sketch stage, I typically don't use my straight edge, which you guys see me using all the time on the inks. Mostly I don't do it because it's time consuming to switch back and forth, or you know, keep picking it up, putting it down, the straight edge, that is. But I can sketch out a pretty straight line without worrying too much about it, you know, not being completely straight, because I don't really need it to be at that point, or at this point. Alright, so it looks like his arm actually, this weird little bit that juts out, doesn't start at the top. I could actually use a better view than what I have pulled up here. Yes, Dragon of Despair. I'm just kind of going back to my loose sketches and tightening up a bit. I like to get them pretty tight before I jump into inks. That little detail appears to be kind of inconsistent depending on where you're looking, so I'll just make it work for me. Just pick one look that I am happy with and just stick with it. Wheeljack's a great character. And Chris Latta gets all the credit for Starscream, but people forget that he was also Wheeljack. Did a great job as Wheeljack. So I think I'm gonna call it for the night about here. Feel pretty good about the progress. Pick it up again as I can throughout the week, like I said, and you know, make some more progress and come back next Monday and maybe even finish it off. We'll see. We'll see how everything else works out. Let me back the camera up a little bit, get a decent view of the whole thing here. It should look pretty cool once it's all finished up. Jazz Prime, Wheeljack, Hound, Prowl, Ratchet. Bunch of classics. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate the conversation. And I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you, Zombie Blood. Appreciate the comments, guys. Hope everybody has a good week, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.